Well, good morning and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. It is 7 a.m. and it's a cold one. However, we're going to get really blessed later into the week. And then it looks like next week is going to be super, super cold. So get ready for that. If you are looking at what clothes you want to have out and what clothes you can start to put away, let me tell you, you need to have the hats and gloves because we're getting down into the 20s. That's going to be next week as far as lows. I'll give the full forecast coming up in just a second. I want to thank each and every one of you, not only today, but for the last 9 months for being a part of this mission, of this dream, of this passion that I had. Actually, probably many, many years ago, but finally went out on my own. And in March, we launched this idea. We launched the brand in January. So the brand is obviously made up of multiple things that all include one thing: positivity, giving hope to you, and changing your life, not just yours, but all around the world. And today is the day that we are proud to say this is our 200th show, which is absolutely crazy. But we are going to celebrate with you on Friday. So as many of you, kids, your grandparents, your coworkers, everybody, even if you can just swing by on your way into work from 7 a.m. until I'm thinking like 8:30, 9 o'clock, we're going to be broadcasting live from Christopher's in Kirkwood. We have music from Abby Stahlschmidt and Johnny Chase. We're going to have food out there. We hope to have some hot cocoa for you. Hats by Diane will be there. And if you haven't seen that woman's creations, and they are truly creations, she's going to have some. Maybe that's going to be a nice last minute Christmas gift that you can purchase. Some fascinators. She will be having those out there for us. We have some of our sponsors coming by. I know Kathy Kilo Peterson confirmed for us. Dr. Sarah Franco will be there. I was hoping to get the guys from Clayton Winehouse, but they're so crazy crazy busy this time of year that they're not going to be able to swing by, unfortunately. But everybody that I am wanting to thank that has been a part of our show over the last 6 months, 7 months here in the studio, but all of you that have been a part of it. I'd love to see you, meet some faces, some of the names that I see that pop in each and every day. I'd love for you to come by. So again, Friday, Christopher's in Kirkwood, and we would love to see you come celebrate with us and to talk about things you'd love to see us do coming into 2024. All right, as I promised, the forecast for today, as I mentioned, it's going to be a cold one, but get ready for Thursday and Friday because it will warm up. 48 for a high today, dropping down to 30 tonight. Pretty much almost similar tomorrow. You'll have a high of 48 and then a low of 36. But wow, Thursday and Friday, stunning. Sunny, 62 for a high. You got to love that. We do have about an 85% chance of rain moving in on Saturday. Some rain on Saturday, and you'll have a high of 61. And then on Sunday, the high is only 43. And I looked into next week. Looks like 40s and lows in the 20s. So get ready to bundle up for next week. Okay, I want to say happy birthday to Mike Harmon. That is Michelle, who you know she moderates and does tons of things for our show. Her husband's birthday's today. So Mike, I hope you have a fantastic one. Yesterday was Arden Duffy's 21st birthday and Ann Donnelly's birthday. So a busy one as far as birthdays and celebrations. I want to wish the best to Angie Workmeister. She had total knee replacement. I think she's coming home from the hospital today. All of these wonderful people that watch the show on a regular basis. Let's see. What else? Is there anything else that I wanted to tell you? I think that's a lot of the order of business. Now, on to today's show. We're going to be talking about grit. Right? What do you have inside of you to just catapult you to where you really belong in life? Jennifer Bardot is going to join us. And a lot of you have had a chance to listen to interviews of people who are featured in her books, like Mary Enderly, like Kathy Kilo Peterson, like Sally Drake. Those are just 3 of hundreds of women that are being empowered by Jennifer Bardot. And we're going to hear her story, deconstructing grit, what she's gone through, and her resilience in life. We'll also be talking to Rick and Stacie Fessler. Now, they're behind Vidl Life. A lot of you over the last couple of years have seen me carry these water bottles. But it's not about the water bottle. And it's not even about maybe it's a scripture verse or it's something that empowers you. This one says, today's your opportunity to build the tomorrow you want. There's some powerful things written on these water bottles, and that's just a bonus. It's really the mission, just like our mission, that they want to change the world. We'll also talk about the fact that this incredible couple was featured in this Maestro, storyteller of Savannah Valley, inspired by true events. But this is part of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. I mean, how cool is that? We're going to talk about all of those things today, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention one of my new friends, Ruby Leigh. Now, the voting is already over, but in the show today, tell me how many of you had a chance to see her performance last night. A lot of you were blocked, of course, because of the ongoing negotiations, I guess, between Tegna, the parent company of KSDK, and those behind DirecTV, and I think it was also, is it AT&T Uverse? All of us didn't get a chance to see it, so I had to watch it this morning. Ruby Did You Lie, which is a Reba McEntire song. What did you think of her performance? Now, she has such an incredible following. I do believe, hopefully, she'll be making it through. We'll find out tonight, making it into the next round next week. And the crown will be given in about 2 weeks to the winner of The Voice. And we hope that goes to Ruby Leigh from Foley, Missouri. Did you see it? And I want you to be honest, what did you think of the performance last night, okay? We got a lot of things to talk about today, and I can't wait to visit with our guest. We're going to start things off with Jennifer Bardot. She's in the blue chair when we return. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com. Welcome back. I told you we've got a busy show and some incredible guests this morning. If you're just tuning in, it's The Real Monica Adams Show. Remember, we're streaming live Monday through Friday, not only on Facebook, but all of you that are watching on YouTube, thank you. Don't forget to tell everybody to subscribe. That means you just click and then you are following our page so you know when we're on live or when we give you bonus content. Okay, we told you we're going to talk about some books. Look at all of these. Owning Your Grit. And then you've heard about Grit, the broken down series of many things to empower you. Growth, resilience, intention, you know that's one of my favorite things in the morning, and tenacity. And we have some people that have been on our show that have been featured in these. But how did any of this come about? Well, we're going to talk to the woman behind it all. Jennifer Bardot, thank you for coming in.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much.
I greatly appreciate it. And we have, for those of you that want to follow along, the Grit collection. You'll see the website that we'll be posting for you. But I had a chance to visit with you, and we just got so lost in time that we're, oh my gosh, for 2 hours later. Let's go back into the beginning of owning your grit, deconstructing grit, where all this came from, and just where you found your own power.
Right. So actually it happened during COVID. I was struggling at home with 3 kids who I was trying to homeschool while being a professional business banker, securing all these PPP loans for my business owners. And I kept hearing all these hard stories. And I really wanted to find a way to support and create hope in our community. So I was actually working out one morning, and I was living at the Lake of the Ozarks, and that's like my sanctuary. So I was at peace, and I just had this idea pop into my head that, you know, the way to do that is through storytelling. So I called a friend of mine, and I said, hey, what do you think about creating a book? And she said, let's go. So I reached out to my network of really a lot of my clients, and I started compiling 40 authors, which was the first time we had ever put 40 women in a book together, with my publishing partner, Davis Creative, and we launched Owning Your Grit, and it ended up being an international bestseller in 8 countries, which then led me to figuring out what my purpose and passion was, which was amplifying the voices of women and really truly creating hope through hardship. So I put that journey of publishing books on hold for about a year because I thought, oh, this is just a one and done. Did it, been there, checked it off the bucket list. And then I had this really deep calling actually on the anniversary of Owning Your Grit that I needed to really emphasize what grit stood for and really hone in and deconstruct grit. So that's where the whole collection came from, launching Growth in August of 2022, and then Resilience in January of 2023, Intention in July of 2023, and then just closed out Tenacity in November of 2023. So it was really rapid fire, but with this loneliness epidemic by the Surgeon General, I just knew now was the right time to truly support women and help them share their voices and see that there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. So. And there's so many celebrations. I love the pictures that you provided for us. And all these women, each and every one of them, empower each other. The thing that I loved, I went to your gala when you released all of them. And I was looking and smiling and listening to everybody's stories. And one of the biggest things that I felt in that room is that each and every person lifted each and every person up. You know, we always hear women are catty to each other. I was like, Well, but if we stop saying that, right, and stop putting that out there, maybe really we do want to lift each other up. Yes, there's a lot of insecurities. Yes, you sit there and think, well, I couldn't be an author. But here's Jennifer saying you can. Your story is powerful and should be told.
Absolutely. And it's so funny. Whenever I approach women, that's the first thing that they always say. Well, I don't have a story. Who wants to hear what I have to say? And I'm like, that's exactly it. We never take time to really reflect and see our strength and our power. And I do feel as though this community of women is truly supportive, and they are extremely collaborative. And it's almost like this sisterhood. I have over 207 authors that are participating, and it's incredible because they show up for each other. And it hasn't had that catty vibe. It's like something unique and special.
If you're just tuning in, this is Jennifer Bardot, very intelligent woman, by the way. I'm sure you can tell that. So here's a woman who decides to get her BA in business administration, and then she doesn't get one, she gets 2 masters. And you were working with Enterprise Bank and Trust, right?
Enterprise Bank and Trust, yeah.
And how many years?
I was there for 3.5 years, and thankfully I made President Circle during COVID, and I secured a board seat on the advisory board for Creve Corps and made senior business banker in 2.5 years. So it was pretty incredible.
Well, and you were also like one of the 100, right?
yeah.
Best in a business, all these things. So all these accolades, all these awards, but that's not what matters to you.
No, people. I love people, and I love supporting people, and I think that's where my helping nature comes from. Having a background in counseling, I love showing up for people and spotlighting them and letting them see how incredible they are. So.
She has a really powerful story that she told me. So you're working with them, then you get this opportunity to work with Willis.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So I was working as a senior business banker, and I was hand selected to work at the 3rd largest insurance company in the world. And I had to really have my own grit to see myself in this kind of major leagues role, because I was playing with smaller businesses, under 50 million in revenue, to really jump into that top tier clientele. And I jumped in there, and I had to own my own grit, which is essentially why I really needed to publish these stories and see that I was capable of achieving these great things. So I have a disability, so taking tests is really a struggle for me, but I was able to secure a new designation within the first 30 days of this new opportunity, and I learned so much on that journey, which I'm grateful for, and it definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone to truly define who I am and how I show up for others, which led me to going into Grit full time. So
she just mentioned something that I was going to get into, but let's go ahead and go there. So she just said that she has a disability, which is dyslexia.
Yes.
And you were diagnosed with that when? How
in the
early?
3rd grade. I was in 1993, but at the time they thought they just coded it as a learning disability because they couldn't read and I couldn't comprehend anything. So my fate with education was pretty slim.
Well,
it was meek.
I want a lot of the young kids, I want parents and grandparents out there that say, wow, look at this. Because, I mean, you think about the paths people take.
Right.
Were you bullied at all?
Oh, well, I never let anybody know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But there's a lot of people.
So
you internalize that, which is dangerous.
It. Yeah, and then I started to question my own enoughness, never thinking I was capable, even though my mom would take me to have my IQ tested, which proved that I was gifted, but there was a significant deficit, and it's just because I code things differently.
So, and she's also a phenomenal speaker and can be booked for speaking. When you speak, do you talk about that? Do you bring that up?
It took me a while to get to that point. And actually, if you look at my anthologies, the first one talks about how I was securing this opportunity to be interviewed for a graduate assistantship, but I didn't talk about having a disability. It wasn't until later in the anthology collection I started to really own my journey and own that I had a disability, because I always felt judgment and fear of shamefully exposing my flaw. So, but now I talk about it openly because I feel as though that's something that does need to be spotlighted, because you can overcome your disability. It's kind of a gift. This is how I've framed it.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the thing. It's how do you see yourself beyond where you originally see yourself?
Right.
If you all understand that. One more time. You see yourself a certain way. Other people see you a certain way. They're complimenting you. They're trying to lift you up, and you're not believing it because you're giving power to something that you think is holding you back.
Right. Exactly.
Very powerful.
Yeah. So that took me a while to get over that, and I still have my own struggles. You know, we all do, but it's definitely a gift, and that's how I've kind of reframed that.
I love this. So again, as she had mentioned, she got this position with Willis, but you're not there anymore.
I'm not, no.
So what happened?
So during that time, I was publishing my anthologies. I'm still leading my women's group. It's slowly growing, and I realized really quickly that that's where my heart and soul is. That's my purpose and passion, is truly amplifying the voices of women and supporting them and providing them with professional development. So actually on the anniversary of Growth in August, I left Willis and went full-time into G.R.I.T, which was probably the most scariest thing, but it's one of the most like joyful moments of my life, because I've been wanting to be an entrepreneur since I was 21. I owned a business and it didn't go as planned.
What was that?
It was a residential and commercial cleaning company in the Lake of the Ozarks, which
that's right.
led me to grad school. But
That's right.
yeah. So
Well, and if
scary
we allow ourselves, and I know
Right.
you're faith-based, if we allow
Yes.
ourselves, we say, oh God, I see why you did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. As I reflect back, every learning moment, every obstacle has shaped me into who I am and given me that extra oomph to keep going and to help other women have their power and their strength to overcome challenges.
And for all the men, by the way, that are out there, one of the things that you can do is be the support system.
Absolutely.
That's
Champion
a really-
for men.
yes.
It's huge.
That's
Yes.
a powerful role that they
Yes.
take on, that hopefully you're willing to take on.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break. It's 7:17, and we're visiting with Jennifer Bardot. Again, you have the grit, the growth, the resilience, if you have your intention that we hope that you do each and every day. I always do my intentional word, I told you.
Yes.
Mine was connected today. That's my word
wow.
for today. Filling your triangle. Do your gratitude tonight. Keep that going, and you'll see the same kind of grit within you. You just have to believe in it. We believe in you. So does she, and she's just moving mountains. She's just starting. You can feel that. We'll have more with Jennifer when we return. Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with The Real Monica Adams Show since we launched back in March. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Personal training, life coaching, and styling as well. Info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. And Kathy Kilo Peterson, I was just saying, is on and watching, and she's saying such a powerful super connector and truly there to lift others. That's her message to Jennifer. Her message to you is also that you matter and that she wants to take care of you. You can see kkilo.com. You can scan that QR code if you want, or call her at 636-561-6460. By the way, if you haven't seen Kathy's interview with me, you need to watch that and then read her part she's in the tenacity portion of the book. But as far as this time of year, one of the things that she said is such an incredible thing for you to think about, because kids aren't going to be thinking about this, but parents and grandparents, you could be buying life insurance for your children and your grandkids that really continues to pay forward for life. So I want you to contact them right now if you want to get a life quote. Then they're going to give you a $25 gift card. There's so many things that she can do for you, and we think about the disasters and catastrophes that happen, and when we all of a sudden have that happen to us, you want someone like Kathy to be there to take care of you, and that woman just has the incredible soul for you. So again, 636-561-6460. Jennifer, what did you love about that woman, by the way?
Oh my gosh, she's incredible. And I met her actually during COVID. So meeting her for the first time coming out of COVID, which I met through another connector, Chris Rosika, who I adore. She's incredible. And she's just a powerhouse. And she's such an inspiration to women and leads them very gracefully.
Well, we had dinner with Sally Drake last night. She, of course, said hi. All these wonderful people. And it's kind of like asking a parent to pick. I can't ask you to pick your favorite story.
Right.
That's not fair.
Yes.
But if you could thread it together in a few sentences, what have you learned from all of them collectively?
I think the thread between all of these women is that they're powerful, but sometimes they doubt who they are, and they don't realize that their struggles are the same struggles that others are struggling with as well, until we actually share what's going on, and then we see our similarities. So I would say these are incredibly talented women, but we all doubt ourselves, and it's that self-doubt that leads us into kind of being immobilized until we reflect and see our strength to continue to push forward. So that's what I've seen in a lot of these stories. We go through so many struggles, but yet in our culture, we're told not to talk about those struggles. But every time we share our story, we heal. So we have to get it out.
Well, not only are you healing, but as people are listening to you go through the things that they thought, well, I thought it's so funny how people will stereotype. Oh, well, you've got it all. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. She's intelligent. She got all these things going for her. But you never know what demons someone has. You never know what struggles they've had.
Right.
Or as she talked about, dyslexia, bullying, and then you overcome those things.
Yes.
Because you're like, no, I deserve more. I know that. I know I have value to me.
Yeah.
So moving forward, how do you continue to inspire? What do you have on your plate for 2024?
Yeah, so I'm actually excited. And we were saying that one of my friends came to mind, Debbie Corey, because she always says, push through that fear. And she's always about, failing forward. And I think that's something we need to remember too. But next year, I'm super excited. I'm actually doing a special edition just for veterans to honor their stories. And it'll be a collection of women veterans who have either supported veterans as spouses, or they've actually served as active duty members, or they're retired. So I'm really excited about that because I've never done a collection specifically on a specific topic. So this will just be veterans. And then I'm actually working on a Living Well anthology. So we always talk about the toughness and getting grit and all of that. We're going to talk about coming out on the other side and what that looks like when you've lived with grit. And that'll be an anniversary collection that'll come out in November of 2024. And then just, the normal programming. I've figured out all of the programming, how I can truly show up for women. So I've got my lunches, my workshops, my coffee and connections with influencers, and then the Grit Gala, and then my Women's Leadership Expo, which is going to be May 15th. So I'm super excited. So just kind of the standard staples, and then mixing in some new things as well. So
I love it. And so if people want to be a part of that, and they're
Yeah.
thinking, this is the kind of community I need to
Right.
be around, what's the best thing for them to follow you?
yeah, so Grit has a page on Facebook. They have a page on LinkedIn. My Grit community is actually free. Anybody can join if you're a woman and you're wanting to get involved in our community, and it's up to you if you can come and pick and choose the different events. But every virtual event that's provided each month is completely free. So if you have a desire to grow and have professional development, join my group. It's free. Get connected with this incredible community, which is your word, connection. I love it.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so just find the pages on LinkedIn or on Facebook.
Yeah, and we've been looking at you. I thought it was really interesting. So we went to your website and we took a little screen grab of your website. And on the cover of the website, right there on the right-hand side, I laughed. Do you know the name of that shoe?
Oh, Claire Flowers.
But the name of that
I
particular,
don't know.
it's
Yeah.
Monica.
Oh, is it the Monica shoe? Oh my gosh, you're right. Oh, that's
Which I
hilarious.
thought was crazy. When we went to your page, I'm like, oh, there's the shoe.
Yep, I
That
love
shoe, by the
highlighting.
way, we turned over to my viewers when I was at Fox 2, and we gave them the option to pick which one was truly the one that I would wear. And there was one that had black, and there was one that had the turquoise. And it was very, very close, but they picked one with the turquoise. Just because it was a little
love
bit
it.
different.
I didn't
yeah,
know
so hi to
that.
Claire.
That's
and yeah,
so cool.
well, I got some on today, actually.
Yay.
She's a very talented shoe designer.
She is, and it's amazing because she's here locally in St.
Yes.
Louis. Yeah,
Yes.
super talented.
So there's just a lot of people that you've met. I was going to say, from all the authors that are in these books,
Yeah.
do people bring them to you, or how did you meet all of them?
So I have a very diverse network. So I come from a family that's been in construction for 90 years. So I love to show up in the construction industry. And then I love supporting women. So I was involved in all these different organizations. Then I volunteer a ton in our community at SLU and WashU and Lindenwood to just support our young entrepreneurs. But yeah, and this is me serving at the different nonprofits in our community, St. Louis Area Food Bank, St. Louis Diaper Bank, and just different places. But really, it was a diverse network initially from myself and then my co-author, Carrie Burgraff. We pulled together those women, and then it just kind of flourished. I would either ask women to be a part of this, or I'd be introduced to women that needed to be a part of this, and I'd hear their story, and then I could see the alignment and the connections of how their story could impact the greater good. Because it was always a goal to have these as international bestsellers. So far, 5 for 5, which is incredible because then we can get this out to different communities and different cultures. So.
Absolutely, because, we think of war-torn countries. We think, and we featured Teresa Carrington, who's an amazing woman. We got introduced you to her
Yes.
with the organization 10 by 3. Are you familiar
Yes,
with her?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
So, we're talking about other countries and how they, there's such a language barrier breakdown, and then what they're going through and how they're treated and what they're, again, told that they're
Yeah.
not going to be anything and just stay in the home and have babies and,
Right.
and treated horribly, right? We're trying to reach countries away, which is what you're doing with this.
Absolutely.
It's extremely powerful.
I try to really make sure that, and that's why there's shoes on the cover of each book, because this gives you an opportunity to step in the lives of these women and truly walk in their shoes. And I really wanted the reader to relate to one of those stories, so always made sure it was very diverse in regards to age, ethnicity, foreign-born. If they're from St. Louis, incredible,
Right.
but it would always be more about the messaging for the greater good.
Well, and don't you think it's powerful and very important for the women that you're featuring to then have those that maybe have kids or godchildren or they're an aunt or whatever, to be able to be a role model for the younger, because that's who we need to reach.
Absolutely. So Aranola Solanke, she's one of the contributing authors, and her story is incredible. And she actually inspired me to start a Grit Youth program, because she was talking about how she was taking these stories home, and each night they would read one together and teach the lessons from these words and these stories. And now I'm going to be kicking off a Grit Youth program that's going to support our youth from 9th to 12th grade, because we tend to lose our voices when we're going through those transitional moments. But if we have that direct connection to mentorships and we see ourselves in those positions, that's how our future continues to grow and thrive. Yeah.
Well, we have to, because we think back when I was growing up and she was growing up and all of you, we think of, that's why I asked you earlier about the bullying.
Yeah.
Bullying is one big thing that is so unbelievably dangerous. I mean, I've been hearing suicide rates for young kids in grade school. It just breaks my heart. But their bullying has escalated, because it's not just in-person bullying, it's the cyberbullying that is so dangerous. And they give such power to the bully, and then that particular day, if no one steps in, they're taking their lives. And it's just horrible. That's why I love what you're doing, what Rick and Stacie, who are going to talk to us in just a few minutes. We need more of this, and more of the whole thing of lifting each other up, and just stop tearing people down and the hatred we have in the world.
Yeah, we need more hope. We need more support. And we need more love. And I do think our kids have taken a toll, because, I mean, this is the first time we've ever lived through a pandemic. And they've all gravitated towards social media, and they're not connecting. We have to connect. And that's why I essentially started that Grit community, because we're bringing women together from all different zip codes. So I recreated that for our youth. So it'll support, charter schools, public, private. But we'll bring all those lone wolves together, so then they can learn those skills of grit and have that foundational aspect, and then hopefully they build their own community from starting these little mini cohorts together. But yeah, we need more love, and we need some more support.
Look, see? What do I always say every day? Well, we end every show, which we'll do in a half hour, saying you can be anything. Really see yourself. I mean, here she is believing. You said you came from 90 years of a construction background. And she was like, well, I don't really want to go into that. I want to do this. Right? So you found your voice.
First generation college student. I decided to take a different path. I knew I love my family, and I love the work that they do. And they've literally touched buildings all over St. Louis. So much respect.
Didn't you say they had a part in the St. Louis City SC?
That was the last big project. Yeah, they did the ballpark and all these different incredible projects, and I loved having their family name on all of the legacy, but that wasn't my calling. So I knew I had to listen to what drove me, and I love helping people.
So let me ask this before we wrap up. What inside of you makes you wake up every morning knowing that you have value, knowing that you're worthy, and knowing that you have a purpose to change the world?
I think I have to challenge myself with that every day, and sometimes those things look a little bit differently. Last night I was reading the Rosary with my kids to help fill me up and kind of armor up, because some days are harder than others. But I think it's just always knowing that my purpose is to be strong, and to be strong for women so they can find their voice. So that usually always gives me courage. And then when I dip real low, I know I need to get out and network and,
surround
meet
yourself.
more people. Yeah, I need to connect, because I need their energy to be lifted up. So.
I love that you said, and that's it, energy. There can be negative energy that someone's trying to throw at you, and the armor. It's really crazy you said that, because I say that a lot. I'll try to help people that I life coach and say, you just kind of do have to build it around you. It's kind of like put yourself in your own bubble. Don't let them enter in. They're going to try, but you know what? They'll give up, because they're not going to try that hard. They'll be like, oh, forget it. I can't get to you. Next person. Right. Someone's unfortunately going to allow it to seep in, but you have to be stronger and stronger. And Jennifer and I are both not saying that you're going to snap your fingers and you're going to be okay, because you've probably been through some hard stuff. We all have, or maybe you are right now. But there's no reason to stay in that space.
No, because there's people out there that want to support you, and they want to, fill you with love and show you the light. So you just have to find those people and then be reflective of those that are trying to suck your energy.
Yes, don't let them energy suckers in. So again, if you want to follow along and see her journey and all the great things that she is wanting to do, we'll put the information. I'm sure Michelle's been dropping it in for you, but gritcollection.com.
And actually, my next website is actually launching later this week. So it's
Which
being
is?
Revamped. It'll be Deconstructing Grit.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll follow along with that as well.
But that page will be forwarded to the new page.
Oh, okay.
And it'll have a Learning Dash module and all these other different features too, to really support people. So.
One final thing. What are you most proud of that you have done in your life?
pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I do that every year. I mean, writing a book was probably one of the most intimidating things I could ever done because of dyslexia. And leading a women's group, like I was never in a sorority. So I always gravitated towards men. So I always try to push myself out of my comfort zone because then I can grow to then I can support more people. So each year I have a new challenge. So I think that's
so
my most challenge.
That's one thing that you and I didn't talk about. But so growing up, when you were in grade school and high school and college, did you have more male friends?
100%.
So did I.
Yes. Yes.
Because I think a lot of, and that's not the case anymore. Now it's a mixture and a lot of cultures and diversities and I love that. But a lot of it was, I saw so much hate thrown from woman to woman. And I was like, I don't deal with negativity. I don't do drama.
Yep.
You and I need to be, you and I will be friends moving forward because we are so similar.
Yeah.
But then you finally open up and you start to see the people who truly are there for you. Those are your lifers, the God wink that comes and the day change, the day changers, I think is what one of my friends says. And it's still in you, though, to say, can I trust? I want to trust. We've all been hurt. We've all had friends that have, but it's okay because God's like, hey, that's just a reason, season, lifetime kind of a thing.
Lesson learned.
And that's it. You don't ever want to say, oh, why were they, like the shame aspect? Shame on them. No, they came in for a reason. We have to learn from it. And hopefully they learn from it. Yeah, that happens.
Absolutely. I think there's always something we can learn from everybody. It's their interesting perspectives. So it's always a gift, but then you have to really own yourself and know who you are to know if that is a ride or die friend, how I call it.
I love the ride or die. So if they want to get these books, what's the easiest?
So you can go on Amazon, you can go on Kindle, you can go on Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, or you can go directly to my website and I'll link you right to Amazon as well.
So let's see this before I bring Rick and Stacie on. Thank you, Jennifer, for all you do. That's from Stephanie Newbill. So sad as so many of my young couples are not actively practicing of faith. Yeah, faith. I mean, we both say, I don't know what we could do without it. Jennifer, great job. God bless you. Jennifer, thank you for inspiring us. How have you accomplished this living through your disability?
I think I have been very intentional about surrounding myself with incredible support systems. So like I said earlier, I partnered with Davis Creative, which is a local publishing company, because I knew that they would support me with providing me with a writing coach, a PR team, a publishing consultant, because that was not my strength. I don't see the things that are not listed, you know? So surrounding myself with a support system to help me get through and see my blind spots.
So many incredible, okay, so Kathy Keeler-Peterson says, thank you, you're so kind, and you helped me in my own journey. This is fantastic. Our youth today desperately need it. And someone said, I love that you're starting a youth program. Yeah, keep the comments coming, and I'll have Jennifer keep an eye on the page and comment to you if you have any questions, or maybe even reach out privately and say, I'm struggling. I don't see this in myself. And that's what we need sometimes. We check our DMs, and that's where it starts. It's a private conversation sometimes to allow you to know that, yes, you do have value. And I just love that I hope you met Rick and Stacie who are coming in. So Rick and Stacie Fessler are behind this, and it's not just the water bottle. In fact, this is the bonus aspect of it. It's what this is doing all around the world, because there are young kids that are carrying these, and then they see this message. Whatever the message may be, you can personalize it, or there's a scripture. But what they want is that you see that, and when you get bullied, or when you suddenly feel like you have no value, you look at that and think, okay, I'm going to put myself back on track because I am valuable. I love that.
Reframe and recreate, manifest whatever is driving your purpose and value. I love that. That's incredible.
And I love you. I'm so glad that I was introduced to you. By the way, this is a beautiful outfit, is it not? Miss Fashion. It's like I'm on the red carpet.
This is J.Crew. This is right off the model.
What is that?
J.Crew, whole thing. The dress and the jacket.
Yeah, that's stunning. And I have blue earrings just like that. Aren't those
Express.
fun?
This is Express.
Look at her. See? Putting it all together and making it work for her. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
What an amazing woman. Rick and Stacie Fessler, as I mentioned, from Vidl Life. They're going to be in the blue chairs when we return.
Carroll House Furniture is growing and hiring for many positions. Drive to success, delivering concierge service and setup in customer homes.
Enjoy teamwork in our clean, organized warehouse where Carroll House stocks for fast, free delivery.
Associates sell more and make more with 3.5 acres of choices in stock, infinite custom orders, plus the lowest prices in the country.
If you like top pay and the best benefits in St. Louis, you'll love working here.
So if you like nice things, join the Carroll House Furniture family.
Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with The Real Monica Adams Show since we launched back in March. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Personal training, life coaching, and styling as well. Info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com.
Welcome back. It is 7:35. I told you she was going to be incredible, and so are my next guests. This entire hour, I hope you realize just how important you are. That's what this is all about. Every young child and every adult, I don't care what age you are, it's for you to understand just how important you are. And when someone tries to knock you down, or someone tries to tell you that, no, you're not, please don't give them power. Okay, that is the main message I always want to get to everybody is, I know it's hard sometimes because it's so vicious and they're so vindictive, but it's their own insecurities. It's their own jealousies, and that's what it stems from. We just have to surround yourself with people who will lift you up, like Jennifer was just saying. It's the community around you. Wait, Scott, chill. It's the community around you that happens. I met these two beautiful people within the last year and quickly became friends, and just, we want to change the world together. And that's when I first met them, I'm like, it's not over. I'm not just going to do an interview with you once. I really believe that we're going to do something powerful. So let me introduce you, first of all, to my friends Rick and Stacie Fessler. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So when I had just left Channel 5, I did a special one-night, 2-hour show on KMOX, and I had Rick on at the very end. And we were talking about his mission and his wife's mission and what they want to do. It was really interesting, because this book is actually how we met. Yeah. This was from a publishing company that had, just like a lot of things in our business, that was pitched to me. And I wanted to do this so bad. And for whatever reason, the people at the station didn't see the reason to do it. I saw a greater purpose. And I was like, well, they're a local couple. Never mind. I'm going to have them on somehow. And so I had you on my life coaching class. Yeah. Then I had you on KMOX with us. And then we've just stayed in touch and stayed in touch. One of the things I love about your entire company is that you keep saying it's not about a water bottle. And some people see, oh, I'm going to start this, and they just look at money that they're going to make, right? I love the meeting we had the other day, and you said, I don't want to be known as a water bottle company. What do you two want to be known for?
No. Lots of things. No, I mean, we want to be known as a product, an everyday use product that people can carry and that's uplifting and encouraging. So with the messages we put on the bottles, that every time they go to take a drink, they get that little shot of energy right there on the bottle, a message probably from a friend. So yeah, we just want to be known as a brand that encourages and uplifts people in this crazy world.
Yeah, your whole thing is the message. I mean, there's one that says life is a gift and so are you. Yeah. Some people have put scriptures from the Bible on it. You have a lot of you have a lot that they can choose from, right?
Yes, we do.
They can pick.
Yes, yeah. On the site, you can go and design your own bottle. You can pick your lid, your bottle color, your message, your base color. Yes, it's got the detachable storage base to carry things that are important and vital to you. So, for instance, like in mine, this is my daughter. So I'm carrying purple today because it's my daughter's favorite color, and she's always so upset she doesn't get to be on these shows and stuff with us. So she did just take a trip with us to L.A. To present Vidl to a bunch of media people, which was really kind of cool. So
she believes in the mission.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's her heart that's behind this mission.
Yes.
So anyway, in my base, I'm a girl dad, so I've got hair ties. I got this little thing she made me that just says love, and then a little note she wrote me this morning, too, that I haven't read it yet because it usually makes me cry, and I'm not going to do that.
Does she put a different note each day?
Periodically, she switches it out, yeah.
I love this. Once again, so this is Rick and Stacie Fessler, and I knew Rick a lot. We had gone to different lunches and meetings, etc. Then I finally get a chance to meet his beautiful wife, and then the two of you, thank you. You spoke at our retreat. Yes. What's the greatest thing that you got out of that? The message that you brought across, and what people were coming back and saying that you did for them?
At your retreat, it was really inspiring to hear the stories from the women that were there, and just to encourage them that wherever their life has been, that they are valued and they're important and essential and treasured. And I think that was what your retreat was all about. And for us to be able to coincide with that and be able to share our message of Vidl to those beautiful women was super inspiring.
I'm so glad you were a part of it. You launched Vidl how long ago?
It was right before COVID.
Yeah.
Wow, I love all these stories. All these businesses, and all of a sudden, boom, oh, COVID. Okay, now what do we do, right? How do we keep this going? But don't you think that during that time, and I think you're very faith-based, I know that God, you can question, why did you have us start a business and then this happens? Oh, never mind, I see it. People need to be told this because everybody was being torn down. Everybody was scared. They're alone. They didn't have the socialization. Don't you think that really helped them?
100%. Yeah. I mean, we, obviously whenever we launched and then COVID hit, and supply chain issues, and we were just struggling and we couldn't figure out what is God doing in all of this? And as we got further and further along in COVID, we were just both like, wow. I mean, people needed this message of hope and encouragement before COVID. COVID just reset the stage and lit it on fire. And we believe it was during that time where we were really working on the messages and working on how are we going to help people come out of COVID? How are we going to help people overcome this 2 years of isolation and being told you're not essential, stay home, don't get around anybody. And we know the importance of community. We know the importance of love. I mean, that's what... that's what Jesus taught the whole time he was here on earth, is love. And we saw during COVID what could happen and what has happened once you take community and love out of the picture.
Absolutely. Well, and the kids that struggled so much.
My gosh.
You were talking about your daughter. What did you tell her during all of that, of trying to learn online, not being able to be around? I mean, I felt so horrible for them and still kind of do because they're still struggling with their mental health.
Right.
Yeah, no, and for us, I think it was really nice having Reagan be a part of this, right? So she's in this concerning time. We're figuring out how do we help people to get through this and navigate this. And luckily, she was in a school that went back early. So, I mean, she was in a great school.
And with the messages that we use, we kind of went back to that time of, the aloneness and the scared and the uncertainty, and kind of used some of that feelings that we had to inspire the messages. Like the one I have is like, what truly matters in who you have in our life. Like that kind of was inspired from that time where you just didn't know what the next day was going to look like or what was going to happen or what the world was going to bring at that point.
What does yours say, Rick?
Mine is personal. I mean, it's one of our choices, but it's one that I carry with me. It says, my only competitor is the person I was yesterday, because it's my goal every day to get up and try to be better than I was yesterday. I am very flawed, but at least I'm trying to get better each day. Mm-hmm. So it's just a constant reminder that be better.
So this is the thing. Again, this is Rick and Stacie Fessler behind Vidl Life, and that's no different than when people come and work out with me. I have posters, old school, like Arnold Schwarzenegger's up there and all these fitness competitors, and it's the messages, though. Yes, you can look at the bodies and think, oh, I want to, when I ask my clients, so what's your goal? And I've never said it's a number on the scale. Stacie, you get this. Women, we're notorious with, that scale, such power that's given to a scale. Or the number. Who knows what this says? They don't know what I'm wearing here. No one says what number it is. But that's their first thing that they say. I don't see it in guys as much. Sometimes I might say, I might want my waist a little bit smaller. But if I ask, what's your purpose? What's your goal? What can I do to help you with this? I want to weigh this. I want to be this size. I'm like, okay, I check that down. Okay, what else? Oh, okay. And if they said size, then they'll say weight. And then what else? I don't know. I want to fit in this size dress. And I was like, are we going to go anywhere beyond these numbers? Because it's really, why are you giving so much power to that? I mean, those are the things we have to wipe away to then say, well, what about all these other levels? Like, how's your mental health? Are you struggling with that? How's your spiritual health? What are people saying around you? How much power are you giving them? These are all the things, and to simplify it all the way down to a message that's in my basement that I'm training in. Oh, yeah, that one says, we can do hard things, right? This is what one of them says. Or you pick this up. So say this, and I'll ask this question to both of you. As people are struggling in life and their bosses are beating up, the bosses are telling them, you're not worthy of this promotion, right? You've got friends that suddenly go away, or your spouse is being angry to you. Maybe there's abuse that's out there. This simple thing, the simplicity of it all, but the powerful aspect of it all, what are you proudest of that this is changing lives?
Well, I think it's the stories that we hear from people that I'll tell you, it really more so it comes from instead of somebody buying a bottle for themselves and empowering themselves, because that's a very difficult thing to do, especially when you're living in that, when you're beaten down. It's when it's given as a gift, and that's the primary purpose of our bottle. Is it's a gift giving opportunity to lift somebody up. And we hear stories all the time about somebody, and sadly, a lot of it has to do with cancer, and that they gifted their friend that was just diagnosed with cancer a bottle. That one of ours is it's hard to beat a person that never gives up, and let no one stop you from living your purpose. And just to hear these stories that of how a water bottle can make somebody cry. I mean, that's crazy. That's why we say we're just so much more than a water bottle, because you don't get that from any other water bottle out there, right? I mean, because there's such meaning and heart and purpose behind receiving one of these that I think that's probably been the most fun for us.
And when people oh my gosh, when they're looking at the messages, when we're at an event or something, and all of a sudden they go, that one speaks to me. That is the one I want. And it's just the emotion that they get when they just look at it, and they're just like, you don't know how bad I needed that today. That has just been really unbelievable to see and experience in the last few years.
Those are the goosebumps moments. That's where the tears come from. Like, wow, we did this for you. Okay, let's pay it forward. I have a lot of clients that have purchased bottles from you. In fact, I filmed for Rick and Stacie the other day. These two women that are training with me came to the house, and they started talking about how one of them was buying, she had a rush order for like 22, 25, something like that. And she's like, I hope we can do it. And I said, oh, you're buying the bottles for your, oh my gosh, I love this. And then the other woman's like, oh, I'm buying it for all my coworkers. I was like, see, this is amazing, because you're giving hope to someone, and then you hope that they then pay it forward. This was actually a gift, mine, from Rick and Stacie, and when I decided to step away, he's like, we're going to gift you with a bottle, and I said, what are you going to put on? And he's like, I've got a couple different ideas. And then when you presented it to me, I literally started to cry. I'm like, today is your opportunity to build the tomorrow you want. Look what we built. Look what we're building, and look what we are trying to do together. That's what I love. So again, I'm sure Michelle's dropping it for you, but where's the easiest for people to purchase the bottles?
On our website at
Vidl,
VIDLLIFE.com, vidallife.com.
And again, it's all about that paying it forward. There's the messages, that's the website. And as we mentioned, we'll go ahead and do it since we're on it. You can change and the bottom colors, you can have the different colors as your base, you can have different tops. And then again, for those that are really active and you just want, because it's hard for us when we go out and we don't want, just put your key in here. Right. Some of them have huge fobs, but but then you can put it in your pocket if you have pockets. But so many simple things could go in there, and then you don't have to have anything else. That's perfect. Can you fit a credit card in there? Maybe.
No.
You can't? You
no,
can fold it?
Yeah, you can fold it.
Then they won't take it at the store. So I will ask you this, because you've got a different one. What's your favorite top?
Mine's the same as yours. I like the standard.
This.
Yeah,
I'm a straw girl.
You're a straw girl?
I'm in the car. I'm a real estate agent also, so I'm in the car 90% of my day. So I need something that's quick, easy. I can just grab, and I keep my snack, my almonds in the base, because rarely I have time to stop for lunch with appointments.
Agreed.
So it's my go-to everything right there.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. I also want to talk about this book, Maestro, and how did that all come about? It's really powerful. Rick and Stacie Fessler are my guests, and we'll have more with them when we return.
Think about this. When's the last time you called your doctor at 2 o'clock in the morning and he actually answered? Well, at Innovare Health Advocates, their patients are special. Their doctors, nurse practitioners, their care team care deeply about your health, your family, your work, and even your pet. Their clinicians are accessible and they lead your care in and out of the hospital. In fact, Dr. Charles Willie offers his cell phone number to his patients to ensure they can intervene early in your illness. They can provide care above and beyond, offering lab, x-ray, echocardiogram, and other treatments in their office. Innovare Health Advocates, with 5 locations on both sides of the river. Check them out, innovarehealth.com.
Welcome back, 7:50, and we're sharing stories of hope, and again, talking about how essential you are, how vital you are. Vital Life is the company that Rick and Stacie Fessler founded, and we're talking about the water bottles, but also how they are involved in the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, the Savannah Valley aspect series, and it's called Maestro. So how did this come about?
Well, you can kind of sharpen up. Yeah.
Well, there's a mentor of mine. His name's Dr. Tom Hill that was always encouraging me to write a book, and I said no, 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 and he finally said, "We're going to make this happen." And he introduced me to Mark Victor Hansen, the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And I spent about 3 hours with Mark telling him about my story and stuff, and he said two things. One, he goes, "We are definitely going to write this story or a segment of it, but I want you to do it in a fictional format, and I want you to be a part of this new series I'm getting ready to launch." He goes, "And the second thing is you've mentioned your wife about 1,000 times during these 3 hours." He goes, "I think it would be really special if you guys co-authored this together." And so I thought, gosh, what an incredible way to honor her and everything she's ever put up with me. And I thought this is going to be interesting to sit down and write about a very difficult time in our lives. The book is based on about a 2 or 3 year period where we struggled with a lot. And so that's how it all came about, and instantly a bestseller, which was pretty exciting for us. And to get to work with Mark Victor Hansen and his team was incredible.
Well, this is what's interesting. I didn't know anything about Dr. Tom Hill. When you just said that, I got to chill, because there's a woman who watches us every morning. I always say, is there any particular person you want us to feature on the show or a topic you want us to feature? She wrote me the other day and said, what do you think about having Dr. Hill? And I said, I don't know him. Isn't this crazy?
That's crazy.
Godly.
Yes.
Well, so,
Yeah.
yes, evidently, Dr. Hill's going to be in the show. Someone's going to get him on the show.
Dr. Hill, he's a very, very dear friend. A mentor. He calls me everywhere we go, and we go have lunch and stuff. He introduces me as his grandson. He's just an amazing human being. Someone I aspire to be.
What did you love most about writing this with Rick?
Well, we both have always had our own business ventures, and to be able to do something together was struggling. It was fun. It was, all the above. But to be able to, like he pointed out, that it was a time in our life that was very hard, and so I know what I was struggling with that time, and I know what he was struggling during that time. But to be able to have those conversations that 3-4 years later that we didn't have about how he was feeling and how I was feeling, it brought us together, because I know when couples tend to struggle, you isolate yourself and you kind of go through your own emotions and your own grieving and your own aspects. But to be able to years later have those conversations, it just opened it up to go, oh, now I see why he was distant at that time, or maybe that's why he wasn't, present at that time. And so I think we've been able to understand each other quite a bit more during that struggle.
And that's the story I wanted you to hear, because not everybody's going to be brought together to be an author, have the ability to do this, but couples need more of this, because then it's, oh, I see why you see something that way, or you thought that way, but there's a lack of communication, and that's what divides couples. That's why the divorce rates are so high, because there's never communication between people.
Yeah.
So was it healing for both of you?
Very much so.
Yeah, it was extremely healing, and I'll tell you, the byproduct that has come from that is what we're doing with the book now. Is we talked about what the effects of what it had on us writing it together. So what we have done is we work with churches and retirement communities here locally, and we have a 6-week course that we do 1 hour a week. We come in and work with a group of people, and we walk them through the process of writing about the events in their lives. And we explain to them how healing it really is to put pen to paper and talk about the events in your life. And if there's a couple that will do it together, it's super powerful and healing. The things you discover. We had one gentleman that he was so excited he came back to the book club one time, and he's like, my wife and I started doing this, and I learned all about her lifelong friend who's been in our lives since the beginning. I never knew how they met. I never knew why she was so important. And he was just so excited about everything he learned through them writing their story together. And it just, again, one of those things that brings us great joy.
I love the story that, and either one of you can tell this. This was very powerful when we had our meeting last week. you said you go into these churches or retirement homes, and there's always going to be people that are either very outgoing, and they're like, oh, I have a message, I have a story to tell. And then there's going to be the ones that will say, there's nothing about my life that's important. You have a story of a woman that said that to you. I don't have a story to tell. I wasn't important.
Yeah, well, it seems like I'm doing all the talking, but it's not on purpose.
Yeah,
it's just this actually happened
Yeah,
to
it
me.
happened to him. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a lady that was in our last class we taught, and she wasn't interacting with the whole class, and I noticed that she wasn't writing, and her face was always down throughout it. And so after about the third or fourth class, I went up to her and I just asked her, I won't name her name, of course, but I just asked her, I was like, are you okay? I mean, I noticed that you're not participating. Is there something better that Stacie and I can be doing to help you with this? And it broke my heart. She's probably about 75 years old, 80 years old, and she said, well, my life just hasn't been that exciting. I don't have anything to write about. And to hear that come from somebody that is so far along in their life, to think that she had no purpose or nothing was exciting. So I spent some time with her, kind of like walking her through different scenarios that could have happened in her life that actually she finally realized that she did have stuff to offer.
Yeah, and then the next class she came in and she had notes that she had, and she kind of shared with us what she had written down. So she was inspired to do so, just because she was scared and didn't think, just because something great hasn't happened or something huge hasn't happened, everybody has a story.
Yes, but it's the greatness, right? It's the well here. Oh, they're writing in it. It's the value. I always point to know your value. It's the value that you give yourself or that you give others. He asked her a question about, did you do this, or did you ever travel? And oh yeah. Oh, did you dress up? Because we knew that our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, they didn't get on a plane without having a top hat on and suits on and beautiful dresses. And, Jim and I, whenever we travel, we're all dressed up and everyone's like, oh, here they come. And I'm like, well, I don't know why you would judge. This is who I am and this is how I feel. I don't want to be in pajamas, right? I have value. Right. I see value in myself. You want to wear pajamas? That's your thing. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to say anything, but that's the value you give yourself is pajamas. Look at what they thought of themselves. And so she said, well, of course we dressed up. We did this. And then you started saying, that's something that you could teach. And maybe that's something we could get back to. I would love to see that again. But it's those things that some people might see as very simple, but it's large. Yeah. And then she started writing about that more and more, which was incredible. Yeah. I do want you to share, both of you, when you spoke for my life coaching class, the two of you came together and talk about the communication, and you were upset of what they felt about themselves. Mm. Yeah. What was the message that you heard from that night?
That they had they didn't have any purpose, that they felt unworthy and had been brought down rather than lifted up. A lot of those women had struggled with things in their life and not had those people in their life that could inspire them and show them their great value.
Yes.
Yeah, instead, it sounds like they had people in their lives that were more focused on tearing them down. Mm-hmm. And when we got off that podcast, our hearts were broken. We could feel it from them.
He did. He actually called me. He's like, Monica, I'd like to give bottles to the women that were on that class if you think it would help. And I was like, no, you don't have to do that. And he said, but we want to. He said, Stacie and I literally had tears in our eyes and thought, they don't see value in themselves. That's a lot of people walking around on this earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And doesn't that make you sad? But it also gives you hope to try to say maybe we can change.
That's why we're doing this,
yes.
Right? I mean, that's once I sold off all my businesses, I said if I was going to do anything else with my life, it was going to be to try to make a difference in people's lives. It's going to be it's going to be helping people move along in their life journey and realize their purpose, their value, and encourage them. So.
Well, and that's the thing he just said. You've been very successful. Had a lot of, if you want to read up about Rick's background, Stacie's background, you had a lot of these businesses. And then you make the decision, which is what I want the message that I want a lot of people to be taught. If you have passion in something and God leads you to it, then sometimes and many times it's very scary. I mean, here we are, all of us, right? It's, what am I doing? Like, I could stay with this, but you weren't fulfilled.
I was not. No. I was not. And I'll tell you that, I looked at the world that we live in today and decided I want a better world for my daughters, right? And so, yeah, that's why we decided, all right, let's go all in, and this may fail miserably, we don't know. But at least we're gonna go down fighting.
As a family.
Can you say this before we wrap up? Because it's the same message that I've been trying to get across in the last year. When I decided that I was going to do this, it scared the heck out of Jim, right? And for about a month and a half, I said, you're not the best person to be around me right now because I can feel the tension. I can feel the, what? No, you got to stay with this, but that's not what God wants me to do. So as a support system, when he says, we're going to do this, I mean, I just saw her go, see, it's easy to do. It's human nature to be, whoa.
I can relate to Jim very well during that. I supportive, absolutely, but scared, nervous, a little excited because I saw the potential, but just scared of what I knew what our life was like. It was very monotonous. It was easy. It was comfortable. And sometimes God calls you to get uncomfortable for greater things. And so that's kind of what we prayed on. And that's what we, kept our family core values to was, all right, we're going to be uncomfortable, but we believe that this was put on our hearts for the right reasons.
I'm going to tell you what, I say this on a regular basis. The most powerful aspects of life come from the most uncomfortable places. You got to get uncomfortable to really see where you're supposed to be guided. Just going through comfortable, I'm not going to say it's boring. Yes, you can go like that. But there are a lot of people that have come to me in my coaching that have said, the reason I'm coming to you is because this that I'm doing is not fulfilling me anymore. And I feel like there's more in me. I'm like, there's more in everyone. You just have to listen to the God whispers. And they're there. Sometimes you get punched in the gut or slapped. Okay, so let's see what people are saying. We need more people like you in the world. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
We would love to see a couples retreat. Remember I told you I want to have you do more retreats?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
We talked about doing something like that a while back.
Well, then let's do it. Marilyn C., she just said, Dr. Tom Hill is so amazing. I love every time I've been blessed to hear him speak. He has some incredible summits. There's your connection to Dr. Tom Hill again. I know, that's a little weird.
I'll give you another connection.
Uh-oh.
His summit was right here in this studios 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
This is eerie. This is God. Terry says, thank you, Rick and Stacie. I love the message you're spreading. Thanks for your story and your book. I love your water bottles. I get so many compliments on them. I have multiple water bottles from you. She's bought them for herself, and then she's giving them to other people. I love it. I love what you've done. Oh, Carrie says, I have Phil 4:13, one from your retreat. Oh. Yep, Philippians, obviously. I love what your water bottle represents. I bought 2 for my parents who live in Florida. They're a great gift that has inspiring messages they see every time they use them. It fits great in a golf cart.
For sure.
I love it. So again, VidalLife.com. It is a great opportunity for you right now. If somebody wants one or multiple ones for businesses, for their family, before Christmas, when do they have to have it in? Yesterday?
Right. For businesses, I think that it has to be probably this week because we're nearing that time where it'll be hard to deliver. But I think for individuals, as long as we get a week's worth out to where we can ship, we do all of our custom engraving in-house. They get a chance to personalize each bottle, so they can put a name or a phrase on there as well. And that we give us a week and we'll get it to you.
And I told him a funny story before we wrap up. So this isn't the funny part. This is the sad part. My dog, he knows where I'm going with this. My dog was attacked by a dog in the neighborhood. And I'm not a parent, but I'm a fur baby parent. And it just freaked me out. I'm like, that's my baby. So I took her back home right away. Next time I go for a walk, I do go that way. And my mom's like, stop going that way. And I said, well, there's not a whole heck of a lot in our subdivision because our shoulder's this big and they don't let me get out of the subdivision. I made a promise to my husband and my mom that I wouldn't. And so I stay in the subdivision and walk around 3 times. So I go back down, and just like any trauma, her hair stands up as we get 3/4 of the way down. I was like, my mom's like, don't do that to her. And I said, well, I want to teach her that I'm here for her. And she's like, well, what are you going to do? You should carry mace with you. And I said, I have this water bottle. You hear this? It's hard. See, it's hard, and this is how I carry it. And I'm like, that dog comes out. This is my weapon. First, I'll take this and throw it at the dog. I'm going to deconstruct it. No, so I thought that was the funny part. But I'll tell you, this will protect you. And one thing that I love, because there's a lot of businesses that make shoddy products and they get returned. You've never had one return or anybody say anything bad.
No, I think that's one of the things we're most proud of. We've got well over 10, 15,000 units out there in the market, and never had a single one returned. We had some issues with the straws, where there's water still in the straw when you close it, obviously, and when they tip it, it leaks. And we've replaced that if that's the case.
But that's small.
But small stuff. Yeah, no. So we're very proud of the quality, and we put a lot of work, years worth of work and research and development with engineers to make sure it's a quality product, because the weight of the message that it carries is your vital.
Yes.
Well, we can't have that message fall short in a product. The product has to be able to carry the weight of the message.
And I think everyone just says, it's beautiful. And
they really
like
are.
The people who carry it.
They're stunning. And, here's the integrity of this couple. You have been asked by people like, put it on this side. And you're like, nope, I don't want to do this. You've been offered for people to buy this, but they wanted to take your logo off. And I mean, all these things, they want to take the rights to this. And you're like, no, this is ours. This is our baby. This is our passion. So interesting, because that's what happens. It's the demons that will pull you in one direction, and God will say, no, keep walking your path. I got this for you. But those things will happen, and it's easy to go, okay, here. No, this was your baby. Don't give up on it.
No, yeah, no, we want to build a community around our product. So when you see somebody else carrying a Vidl bottle, that you know that they're on the same journey as you. And you can't build a meaningful community if you're just buying it off Amazon.
Right.
And that's why we refuse to be on Amazon.
So you're not going to find it there, by the way.
No, you won't find it on Amazon. That's where you can buy all kinds of consumer products. That's not where you belong to a community, and that's what we want from our brand.
There's nothing else to say. I mean, that's how you wrap it up. VidalLife.com. And again, I know a lot of you are looking for hostess gifts. You're looking for your coworkers' gifts. You want something to pay it forward, to inspire someone. Price point for people that are asking?
They're $34 with the messages, $29 blank, $34 with the messages. And right now we have free shipping, free personalization. And with every bottle purchase, you get 2 additional bases for free for Christmas.
You get a base and you get a base.
Great teacher gifts.
There's a really, really cool one, and I'm so glad that you were able to meet her. Abby Stahlschmidt, who will be performing at our big 200 celebration on Friday. They had one where it's the coolest pose of her. She's playing her violin, and she's like backwards, like almost doing a back bend, and you have that on the bottle. And she did it with her Kickstarter campaign. Yes. That was depending on what level people were helping for her to do this big composition. That they got those bottles. I think Michelle actually got one of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
so cool. That's actually one of the coolest ones that I've seen, besides the amazing messages.
Yeah, we love working with Kersmill Elementary right now to do a big, huge fundraiser for them. They design their own personal messages for the bottles for the parents and the students. We love working with Abby to help her get her Kickstarter campaign going. And we love working with individuals, companies.
There you go. So I want you to look them up, and this is something that you can do to pay it forward. VidalLife.com. All right, we do love another book. This is all about books this hour. Stephen Arterburn, we love him. It's 100 Days to Freedom, Wonderful Messages, and Devotionals. We always end with a devotional, and I always have my guest pick. So what are you feeling? 100 Days to Freedom. We did shame yesterday. Fear and anxiety, depression, overeating, and anger.
I like fear and anxiety.
Yeah, fear and anxiety?
I was leaning towards that one.
We're going to wrap up our show with 100 Days to Freedom, From Fear and Anxiety, our daily devotional from Stephen Arterburn, when we return.
Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com.
Welcome back. It is 8:09, and we were just commenting that these colors are all bases that you can get on the vinyl bottles, by the way. That's kind of crazy. I got these at the Crossing in Chesterfield, and if you've heard the story, I bought them originally just because I thought the colors look amazing on set, don't they? I mean, they just have this pop. And I never knew that I was going to read from one each and every day and how powerful the message would be. But see, that's how God is. God will guide us. And it's become a big part of the show. And I love that you stay on with us and that you listen. And that this is a part. I never want you to just stop listening and then go to the commercial break and not hear how we end each and every show, because it's very powerful. This one is called Encouragement for today. It's day 20 of 100 Days of Freedom from Fear and Anxiety. Worry weighs a person down. An encouraging word cheers a person up. That's Proverbs 12, verse 25. The definition of encouragement is, quote, the action of giving someone support, confidence, or hope. Here's some encouragement for you today. You are loved and fully accepted by God. When you are burdened by what ifs or if onlys, when relationships or loved ones are causing concern, if your financial situation is shaky, here's what will lift those burdens: the truth that God loves you and is for you. You might wonder, what does God loving me have to do with my struggles? How can that make any difference? When we know and believe that God loves us and accepts us, the fact becomes the foundation of our lives. This allows us to deal with the struggles of each day from a place of security and strength, confident that God will provide for us in any situation we face. We do not have to carry the weight of the world alone. There's a big shift in thinking for many people. Some find it hard to believe that God could love them after all they've done. Others may not feel like God loves them based on a feeling rather than the truth. God loves you and knows you. He created you and has a purpose and a plan for your life. Focus on this today and experience support, confidence, and hope from the God of the universe. Brennan Manning said, define yourself as one radically loved by God. This is the true self. Every other identity is illusion. Priscilla Shirer said, when we talk about the peace of God, don't think of singing and swaying and holding hands in a circle. The peace of God is strong, intense, palpable, real. You can sense its stable presence, giving you inner security despite insecure circumstances. And Billy Graham said, disappointment and failure are not signs that God has forsaken you or stopped loving you. The devil wants you to believe God no longer loves you, but it's not true. God's love for us never fails. So today's prayer: thank you, God, for loving me just as I am. Help me, Lord, to receive this truth and live my life in your strength and hope. Amen. Eerie how I saw you at one point, like, and we, again, this is real.
Yeah,
nobody knew what we were going to pick. And it's fitting for not just their interview, Jennifer's interview, and the message that we are providing. We all got chills, I can guarantee you. They were, okay, God. Right. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Again, Friday, I would love to, even if I can meet you for a couple of minutes, give you a hug and say thank you for being a part of this show. Thank you, sponsors, for being a part of our show. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you, by the way, for supporting our sponsors, which each and every one of you have done. That's the cool thing, is that everyone that's been a part of this show has told us that not only has the partnership worked, but it's been huge. And I just keep smiling and sometimes crying, saying thank you for providing for us and thank you for providing for them, because that's really all I want. I don't want to take somebody's money that's not working for them. I will literally say, here, I want you to have your money back. That doesn't make sense. But thank God that hasn't happened. We keep growing and growing with you. Our audience has been amazing. Our sponsorships have been amazing. And we're going to bring it all together. Today is our 200th show, but the celebration is on Friday, and I would love to see you. Christopher's Kirkwood, right across from Kirkwood Farmers Market, right across from that tree lot. Come out. We're going to have some food. We're going to have Abby performing. We're going to have Johnny Chase performing. Hats by Diane's going to have these incredible fascinators out there. It will introduce you to one of my favorite stores. They don't open until 10 a.m., but at least you can see it all and get some ideas for presents. Just a lot of things that we're still pulling together for Friday, but I'd love to see you live, 7 a.m. at Christopher's in Kirkwood, and I would imagine it's probably going to go for about an hour and a half or 2 hours because we've got a lot of people to thank, and we've got a lot of big things to tell you that are coming in 2024. So remember, the message for today, you are vital. You are essential. You are treasured. Remember that. Spread it to your kids. Teach them that at a very young age. And then please do one thing. Be kind to one another. God bless you all.